Hi, my name's Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about the new changes the Welsh Government is bringing in. The Rental Homes Amendment Bill. This amendment will be coming in spring 2022, according to the reports I have heard. Now what does this bill include? Well, it includes a minimum notice period of 6 months for non-fault evictions. That means that if the tenant has not done anything wrong and they haven't broken a contract and they haven't caused any problems in the neighbourhood and they're a reasonable tenant, then, obviously if they're a good tenant, then you are not going to be able to evict them without giving them 6 months notice. At the moment it's 2 months, however because of COVID it's in theory 6 months, but now you have to give them at least 6 months notice. Not only that, but you can only serve notice if they have been in the property for more than 6 months. So this means that the new minimum tenancy is 12 months. This is good for landlords because the new minimum tenancy, not only is there a 6 months ban on evictions, so you have to, from the start of the contracts, you have to allow 6 months before you can serve them notice, which means 12 months before you can kick them out, but there is also going to be a minimum contract of 12 months. Which means that effectively it's a balancing act. Everyone who rents cannot leave the property for 12 months and they are tied in for a 12-month contract, which means you don't have tenants like I had come in after 3 months, they go, oh, I'm leaving, and you go, well, you're tied in for a 6-month contract, and they go, okay, well, I'll leave at 6 months mark then. So they leave at 6 months. Now, it costs you to find a tenant, and then they go in, and then if there's any work that needs doing, luckily my tenant didn't cause any damage, they just wanted to move because of their relationship change. However, you obviously don't want to have to pay agents to find you a tenant, and then it's a few £100. I mean, some agents it's £500–600 for tenant find. So if you're paying £500–600, I mean it could be more in other areas. I haven't come across any areas where it's more personally, but I can expect that it might be more in places like London, although it might be cheaper because there's more properties. The cost of finding a tenant can be £500–600. Now if you're in a cheaper area and the rental income is only £500–600 or it's on a flat, then you might find that it's 1 month's rent gone straight to actually having the tenant found. So you don't want to be changing tenants every 6 months because that's £1,000 a year off your profits just to get a tenant in there. Then you've got void periods between your tenant moving out and the tenant moving in, so you probably lose another month. So you're talking about, say, £1,500 a year loss if you have 2 tenant changes every year and you have a month between them. So this is the thing, that it's good for landlords because they will not ever incur these costs. However, if you are a good landlord and you have a good property, you will have a tenant who wants to stay and they don't want to jump in and out of your property anyway, so this doesn't really make a difference to good landlords with good properties. It only makes a difference to bad landlords with bad properties. So is it really going to help us as landlords? I don't see it really helping us. I see it helping the tenants. They have more security. They know that they're not going to get kicked out for any reason. They know that they've got 6 months if someone wants to kick them out, if they're a good tenant, they've got 6 months to find another property, which is great for a tenant. So my view on it, I'm really indifferent. I don't see how it helps landlords. It does help tenants. I don't think it's going to affect me personally. And it is only in Wales anyway, so this is only affecting you if you're a Welsh landlord. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, whack that bell notification icon to get notified of videos coming out each and every week. Make sure you also decide whether you want to be an English landlord or a Welsh landlord or a Scottish landlord or a Northern Ireland landlord. Why? Because they all have different rules. These rules that I've just spoken about in this video are not actually for England, they're only for Wales. So you also have the Rent Smart Wales scheme where you have to register and do a course to become a Welsh landlord. And if you want to rent out the property by yourself, you have to do a different course again. Otherwise you have to do it through an agent. Also, in this bill that they're brought in Wales, they're also trying to standardise all rental contracts, which makes it easier for everyone to know what they're getting themselves into, what they're not getting themselves into. Over the whole of Wales, they're going to have a standardised contract where everyone signs the same bit of paper. It's good on one hand. I haven't seen the standardised contract, so I don't know if it actually protects the landlords or if it's indifferent or if it protects the tenants or how exactly it is. So I cannot comment on that yet. If I do find out what it says, I will do a video about it and will explain to you exactly what those changes are. Now the only reason I stick to Wales and England is because Scotland is very far away from me. As I'm in the south of England, then Scotland is very far, so I haven't looked at the Scottish market. And I only go up to sort of the Midlands, halfway up the country, the northwest areas. These are the areas I generally cover in my videos because these are the areas which are travelling distance. Now when I say travelling distance, I mean sort of 4 to 6 hours. Anything above that, I say, well, it's not really travelling distance. Going to Scotland is 8-9 hours. I don't really want to be travelling to Scotland to do property deals and to find decent properties. I stick to the rest of the country because it's within my distance. So, I'll see you on the next one.